Dennis and I first met online at plentyoffish.com.
And got a notification saying, here's your matches for this week. Most of the time, I just ignore them all because they're really not my matches. You know, I read her profile, you know, it said that she's got a good job, you know, said that she's religious, she had some of the qualities that I wanted, you know, that I personally, you know, was looking for. So I decided to send her a message. I said something along the lines, I think, you know, I read your profile, you really stood out from the others, and, you know, read my profile, let me know what you think. I think we would be a good match. And then I didn't hear nothing for about 3-4 days, maybe a week, and I said, oh, I guess she didn't think we were a match.
He thinks I was playing hard to get. I was just really busy. Until we finally met. It was November 18th, 2010.
She was real busy with school and work and everything else, so we finally picked a date that we're going to meet on. We went out to this restaurant out by her house on Main Street in Williamsville. It was actually not too far away from her house, so it was good for her.
And we met at a restaurant around the corner from my parents' house called Milo's, and I spent probably like, I don't know, 2 hours trying to do my hair. I tried like this new thing, and it actually, I don't know, it looked pretty cute. But of course he was early, and so I was still in the bathroom with curlers in my hair when he texted me to tell me he was at the restaurant. So I flew around the corner of the restaurant, and we met in the parking lot, and he gave me a big hug, and I think he kissed me on the cheek, and we went inside the restaurant and sat, and I don't know, I was just really nervous. It's like the first date I'd been on in forever. And
after we left there, I thought that she was really a great girl, and I thought that, you know, this was really awesome, and I hoped that she felt the same way about me. And, you know, we started texting back and forth. About an hour later, she was going out of town to go visit her brother for the next couple of days. So I tried to get another date out of her, you know, the following day, but, you know, she was busy and was packing and everything else.
He spent most of the evening talking about him and what he likes, which is Dennis, and that's okay. I had a great time. I came home and I was standing in my parents' kitchen, and I said to my mother, I said, okay, this is it, book the church. This is the man I'm gonna marry. And as I said that, he sent me a text message on my phone and was like, I really, you know, enjoyed talking to you and meeting you. I really want to see you again. Let's get together like really soon. And so it's from there. The best thing I love about Dennis is probably his sense of humor. He's really obnoxious, but honestly, that's what I love about him. He can so annoy me, and I just like want to hug him and squeeze him at the same time because he just makes me laugh sometimes beyond anything. And so I really love him for that, and his smile, and he's cuddly, and he's like a big teddy bear.
What I love most about her is that she is like an amazing person. She's got like, she cares about everybody else before she cares about herself. You know, she puts everything, you know, everybody else before her. She's a very caring person, and that's what I like about her. I feel like she's there for me when I need her, and that's very important, I think, in a relationship. Okay, proposal. That's, so I went in like this frantic panic mode where I wanted to just make it perfect, and I was online doing a bunch of research, which is the best way to do it.
Several months earlier, he had asked me to specifically take off this day. He never asked me to take off a day. And I was like, all right, whatever. And he's really insistent on it was a certain day.
And I decided to fly out. Her sister-in-law from Washington had her come out, bring her best friend from New York City out, had my parents, her parents, my sister.
And as I had gotten closer, I was at my parents' house and I looked on their calendar and they had the date circled. I was talking to my best friend. She was like, oh yeah, I'm doing something on this weekend. And so I started to think, it wasn't even that I thought. I was like the CIA. I was like, it's gonna happen. He's gonna propose this day.
And then she kind of knew what was happening, but she didn't really know. And we were at Ellicottville Brewery and she was talking about, you know, proposal and stuff like that, and I totally threw her off, and I was like, oh, we can get you a ring for Christmas, you know, and, you know, we might propose around that time, and I was just trying to throw her off, and I'm like, I'm not ready for marriage yet.
And he's like, stop asking me, I don't want to get married, I'm too young. And he tried to sell me on that he was going to give me a promise ring, and that's what I was going to get for Christmas. And so at that point, I really thought I was crazy, like I was making all this up in my head, and he was not going to propose.
Went home and changed, went out for dinner to La Tida, and so we were there, and we had like our own little personal server that was by our side the whole time that decorated our table real nice, and because they knew what was going on, I called them ahead.
So we're sitting at dinner, and Dennis, you know, he's a big guy, loves to eat, and he was eating like a turtle, and he kept staring at me, and they kept pouring wine down my throat with everything in my glass, and he was just really quiet. He was texting the whole thing, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get mad. He's texting, whatever, it is what it is. We're having dinner. And he got up at one point and put his hands on his pocket, and I swear if I could have gone through the wall. And he got up and went to the bathroom.
And so we were having dinner, and I got up, and I patted my pockets, and she flew up against the wall, and she thought it was gonna happen right there. And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And so then I went to the bathroom, I came back, and we had dinner, and I was texting her sister-in-law and her, you know, talking to her parents to make sure everybody was there. And her sister-in-law was like, everybody's here. So I'm like, all right, I gotta go to the bathroom again a second time. And she's like, I walked around this way of the restaurant, and she knew something was up.
And out comes Dennis, and the lights had dimmed even more. And then behind him was a violin player.
She was shocked. She knew something was going on. So, you know, I went on my knee, and everybody came marching in. Her parents, my parents, her best friend, her sister-in-law. You know, everybody came marching in, and she was crying hysterically.
My sister-in-law was in from Seattle. He had flown my best friend in from New York City. She had been here for 3 days. I didn't even know she was here.
All right, so I'm waiting for an answer, and then she sees her best friend from New York City. She starts crying hysterically again. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna go have a shot. You let me know when you're ready to answer my question.
And I feel bad. I guess he was like down on his knee for like 12 minutes. I have no idea what he said. And so he put the ring on my finger, and I said yes, and everybody's around, and we all just had a great time. More wine, more food. All my friends were there, and you know, we went back to my parents' house, had more drinks and wine and food, and you know, just had a great time. It was he really orchestrated it really well. I was so happy.
The toughest part about the whole thing was asking her dad, because I was honestly scared and didn't know how to ask. So I asked my boss, who was a good friend of mine. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to ask? And he goes, well, what do you guys like to do together? And I said, well, we like to go to the shooting range. And he said, if you're gonna ask at the shooting range, make sure he shot all the bullets before you ask. So I made sure he shot all the bullets, locked up all the guns in the trunk, and then when he sat in the car, I'm like, I got a question to ask you. And he drilled me the whole car ride home.